Well, it would seem that Yu-Gi-Oh! Just decided to change the rules with how they're going to be handling some things. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So earlier today, actually, I didn't think we would get news on Labor Day here, but Konami decided that they were going to open up this new Facebook page called YGO Retro Games. Now, don't let this be confused with GameStop's retro game store that has just started, where, you know, they're pandering to the nostalgia era of things out here, and they're trying to get you to relive the glory days of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, because that's literally exactly what this is. Konami, since Speed Duel products fell off into the abysmal wasteland of the abyss over here in the corner, now Konami has decided to go, hey, let's cash in on the nostalgia out here. So when I say they're changing the rules of this, this means, the old reprints are coming. Now, my only main concern is, you know, like Korea, who's reprinting all of the older products out here, you know, cashing in on the old equity that this stuff was, you know, what is the viability of this? I actually want to read you something out here from a friend of mine on Facebook, and I think that this is very, very important out here. In an era where every major CCG is pushing product through third-party licensors and power creep, Konami of all the companies found another route. It's really cool to me that Konami is finding success with monetizing their play history via things like Time Wizard format and not purely collector's items. They're literal decades ahead of every publisher in this space. When Wizards of the Coast reprints ancient top-end threats like Splitmonger, it's pointless because there's no call to action to play them, and it just takes up a rare slot. When Konami makes old role players like, you know, Black, Armor Master, a hit chase rare, they end up being worth meaningful money despite zero contemporary tournament play. Imagine if Pokemon would do a base to Neo Constructor tournament for side events with an exclusive prize card. Base set Hitmonchan's would be $80. Then use the price equity as a publisher to create an entire other vertical of products, old tournament decks, GLC support, blah, blah, blah. Alright, I think this is a pretty interesting step in the right direction out here for this. Now, something else I want to tie into this out here. Now, a couple months ago, I was reading a comment from somebody going, Magician Force is confirmed for a reprint. It's actually kind of funny because I feel like this was a fever dream out here when this actually happened. When this Magician's Force reprint came along, it showed up a couple times on Facebook, and it rode off into the distance. We never had any distributor confirmation on this. We never had anything. I just kind of chalked this up to something that somebody was talking about on Facebook as just some nonsense, and that was it. I buried it underneath. I was like, that's interesting. I mean, I could see Magician's Force being a reprint that Konami would want to approach, you know, for the 25th anniversary, because isn't that the Dark Paladin set? Isn't that like an incredibly iconic set for the history of the game? So that was kind of a cool idea. All right, I'd consider that. And then actually in the last week, I saw another crackpot post come up, and it was Elemental Energy is confirmed for the reprint. I'm like, why would they first MFC, and now you're like Elemental Energy? Of all things out here, you know, what do these two things have in common? Well, Elemental Energy ties you into some of the good hero stuff out here that you've been kind of wanting to see out here. So once again, no distributor confirmation on this. I've only seen this mentioned twice out here in passing. Once again, we toss this into the wellspring of cuckoo, you know, craziness. And then today, Konami announces, hey, we're doing the retro space thing right now, you know, where you're able to, I don't even know what their plans with this are. Like I said, I brought up the whole thing with this because, one, it's important to know that Konami is monetizing very differently than other card games. Like I read you at the beginning of this here, Konami finding that space out here to cash in on that equity for their older catalog is always going to be the thing. Now, you got to remember here, I'm hoping the good that comes with this is we are going to see a older style tournament pack series for locals where you'll be able to get upgrades and things for, these events. But now, I guess the other interesting thing for this here is, how are they going to monetize this? You've only got so many sets in the catalog. Well, you got 25 years of history, but we've already reprinted, 4 major ones. Europe just knocked out Light of Destruction. Phantom Darkness, EN, MFC would all be good choices out here for this. And to those of you that are freaking out, you're like, oh my gosh, my sealed collection. That's 0.01% of you out here. You got to remember, everything going forward has the 2020 copyright on it. All right, you can, and whether or not they're choosing to keep retro frame borders on this stuff or going with the new borders, you got a lot to think about there. I'm going to be honest with you. Now, also the fact that Konami has made this retro games department, this is now a separate, it's still within the scope of the TCG. I just feel like Konami's trying to separate the retro side and the actual TCG side of this. Because remember, well, let's be honest here, like, all development's kind of going forward here. The actual TCG side of things is going to be focusing on, breaking new cards, making new cards, pushing, the new excitement of things. And the recent developments also in the game, hat format has come back, of all things. How many crazy buyouts I've already had to sit here in the hat department and go, wow. I am also kind of hoping here, in all fun fancy things here, that with how we're looking at all of this kind of unfolding right now, I would love to see product designed for these older formats. Now, my concern about this is how well will these perform? How well is it going to be to print a $10 Blackwing structure deck for Edison? How many, realistically, how many people actually care about Edison? I played Edison, I lived it, but I don't have anything built for Edison. I can build a lot for Edison, but and my friend has taken pretty much everything to build for Edison from me, so, there's really no crazy point in, considering that. Also, GOAT format has been popular for years. Hat's the new one at this point in time. I know people have been trying to build, TOS, which was 2019 out here. You got a lot of nostalgia for these older formats. People love these, but I don't know. I'm excited for the long term for this. I'm excited for how Konami's going to monetize this. I'm excited for new tournament pack stuff that's going to come out of this. I would love, dare I say, Konami to quite possibly be able to change these formats up. I think this is my pipe dream here. How you have Edison? It'd be really cool to be able to add a ban list to Edison and try like a limited format for like a month or so and see, maybe we could change up some of the restrictions in that meta and see if we could mess around with it and try to change things up a little bit, try to balance things up within those formats. I know that's a very, very crazy thing to want to say out here, but it'd be cool if you could, take what's available, kind of narrow it down, and maybe make some changes within those formats. Just see what you could spice it up in the windows for those. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. Having formats exist that you could change within those formats, see what more you can develop within those formats, is really, really freaking cool of a concept. So I'm very optimistic here. All right, they gave us a decent list. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with this. It's very interesting that they chose to wait to announce the retro games until this point in time. But once again, I'm willing to see where it goes. Most people need to be patient. But whether or not this means reprints, nostalgia pandering, well, definitely means nostalgia pandering. But we can be excited for this. This is good. This is a right step in the right direction, Konami. I'm proud of you. Make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys want to see from this, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.